and today we're going to talk about installing your SlickPod. If you just received it, it'll come in a nice little white box. We have two versions. There's one version which will have the strain relief built into it. That's for version 1 motors, which are motors that the cable cannot be detached. We also have another version for the detachable cables, which will look more like this. The cable fits right in there. So when you receive this, there'll be a screw already installed. I even put some Tef gel on all of these, so you won't have to worry about putting any Tef gel on there to begin with. So just take it apart. The V1s are nice and easy to take apart because they have a strain relief. The V2s are hard to get out of there, so I've been putting a little piece of string through the hole so you can pull it out the first time. Once you have the motor installed in there, it'll be much easier to pull it out because you have something to grab onto. So then what you're going to do is, if you have a version 1, this is the stock puck that comes with the version 1. You're just going to take your 4 screws out of that, and you'll have to loosen up where the heat shrink is to slide it off. You can usually just get a little screwdriver in there and take that out. Take those screws out. Do not use that blue, this guy. Don't use this because the ball end, this will strip your screws really easily. So if you can find a 2.5 millimeter just standard end Allen key, that's the right thing to use. You're going to use those same 4 screws to put into this guy. So when you have it installed, it should look like this. The screw is going to stay in there. So you can see the screw is already in there, and then just your 4 screws go in, just regular tight. Don't forget you're going into plastics. Don't crank it too much. But yeah, so it should look like that. Same on the version 2 motor pod. So what you're going to have to do on this one is, this has this little hole here for flushing out the motor. You're going to have to drill that out to the bigger diameter. So you can see there's a bigger diameter and a small. Just get a 1/4 inch drill bit or whatever the equivalent is in metric and drill that plastic out. That way it allows the T-handle to pass through. So I haven't drilled this one out yet, just to show, but you're going to have to drill a piece of plastic out. It won't make a difference. You can still use your old puck if you want to. Totally backwards compatible, doesn't affect anything. So it actually will increase your flushing when you flush the motor. And in all of my designs, I have actual flush channels now, because flushing out your bearings is like the most important thing to keeping your full drive alive. So on the version 1s and version 2s, there's flush channels to get the water through the motor and out. Same for this one. So it'll actually flush much better once you go to this design. Once you drill that out, plug this thing into your motor, and then slip the pod on, and then again put the same 4 screws that came with your motor onto this guy. Make sure that you put the screw first. So screw goes in first, and then attach it to the motor. So the screw is always in there, and this thing holds it captive, so it can't come out. So screw's stuck in there. So pretty simple. Then you basically have 3 pieces. So you have the pod, been calling this just the key, and then the puck. And you're going to want to make sure, so the tapered ones obviously are bigger on the top side, but also I'm putting an arrow on the inside. The arrow should go towards the board, and they all have this kind of place for the cable that's going to go towards the board too. So if you're ready to go, right, you put your mast on, and then it's as simple as sliding this thing on, putting it about where you want it, take the key and slide it in. You can always adjust it where you want it. I always pretty much go right where the triangle is on these. I find it's a good sweet spot. And then you just plug this guy in, and then take this screw, and it's going to go all the way through. And this is the important part, is you don't want this too tight, because remember, it's just plastic, and this design you don't really need a lot. So like barely even tight here. Nothing really tight there, but it'll hold. And you can go a little bit tighter if you want, but you don't have to crank this down. The design does not need that. So you really want it just tight enough. That's all you need. Once you get this on, I'm shipping now everything with the fairing, because it kind of just flows with the whole design. So you'll have a fairing in your bag. It's got two different diameters, the diameter for the cable and the diameter for either this piece here, like the strain relief, or the heat shrink. So that piece goes up, and then you're just going to slide that puppy on. Boom. And then you would just do your regular tape job on here. And if you want to tape over here, you can add some more of the pieces that came with your kit. You don't want to. Mine have all broken since receiving it, but any of these pieces you could always put on there and keep taping. But yeah, it's that simple. And then when you take it out, these are actually made flexible, so you're gonna say, oh, it's kind of thin. When you get to like this higher tapered part, they'll flex with the curve of the mast. So that's why it's really thin walled there. And I bring it pretty far forward because you want to carry the width of the foil through for the best flow. You don't want it to kind of come in and come back out. So it's that simple. And then when it's time to take this thing off, well, you'd have your motor, right? So when you're ready to go here, there you go. Now you're ready to hit the water. Come back out. I always pull my motor off because I always flush my bearings really well and dry them out. Put some lanolin or fluid film in there, and I leave it out to dry. So my motor pretty much always looks like this. And yeah, so once you're ready, just take that thing out, pull your motor, push this clip, and your mast is clean again. So you can go foiling or parawinging, whatever else you want to do. Yeah, it's that simple. This can slide in on both sides. Doesn't really matter. And the threaded insert there, it's a square, so it won't ever strip out on you. And it's printed into it, so it can't ever fall out. It's captive, so it'll be there forever. And you can go pretty well on these codes. You can pretty much go from here. It's about as far down as you can go. I think that's about the 12 centimeter cable. This is the 15, which I've been designing around because that's the one I like riding, which puts it around here. You can go pretty much to anywhere like in this area here. It's about 15 to 20 centimeter cables will be good. So yeah, just make sure when you tighten it up it's nice and tight. If you want to go a little bit lower on the taper, you can put a little bit of electrical tape. If you're finding that you're kind of maxing it out, like here, it's still a little loose, you could put a little tape to put that slack up. But really, this is designed for people who are riding it, pretty close to the board. On boards with masts with no taper, like the Axis, like all the aluminum masts, or even the Axis High Mod has a pretty small taper, and that one's got a pretty big range. The codes have a lot of taper, so you don't really get a ton of range out of it. But yeah, that's it. And when I take mine off, I store it together. I think that's the best way to kind of keep it protected. Because you do have these little legs. You don't want to break those off if you drop the motor or something. So put it all back together, and I just store it like this with the unit. So that's it. And yeah, just give it a good rinse every once in a while, and make sure you're not leaving it in a hot car for too long. But besides that, it should be pretty good. And I've been riding it for almost a year now, the same one, to make sure it lasts. Now I've been kind of changing it up a little bit as my designs have changed. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I think that's it.